Part 47. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 461. Half a month flies by in a blink of an eye. Xiao Xian's cultivation time passed quickly in the cave of the Eye of Ancients, and his realm was finally stabilized at the 5th level of the power of the Avenue. At the same time, he also used elementary Kylin skills to improve the strength of the Kylin illusion a lot. In terms of realm, he could have used the Ling Yuan pill. Forcibly improve your own strength even more. However, he understands that the most taboo in cultivating a method is to act too hastily. If you want to steadily improve your strength, working behind closed doors will definitely not work. The best way is to explore and have adventures. The tomb of Gongsun Heya. This is currently his best expedition goal. Get out of the cave. He found that he had a deeper understanding of the great road between heaven and earth around him. He seemed to be able to feel the great road everywhere with every move he made. He was deeply moved by this. Although he cannot reach the point like Bai Qingshan where he can use the power of the Avenue at will. But it is undeniable that he clearly feels that he is more in tune with the Dao. This feeling is something he has never felt in Tianwu continent and prehistoric continent. Walk through the ancient eye. He let go of the consciousness in his body. But he felt that there was a familiar breath not far away. The owner of the breath seemed to be the demon elder he had driven away before. He. It's really hard to find anything without wearing iron shoes. It takes no effort to get here. Xiao Xian couldn't help but laugh secretly in his heart. Last time I saw the demon elder and the demon son Chen Zhen. He just wanted to kill these two despicable and shameless guys with one palm. Who knows, they were rescued by a mysterious force. This made him regretful. Who knew, we would meet again now. This is really a narrow road between enemies. Without thinking, Xiao Xian could roughly judge that the demon clan must be looking for him. Then I thought about it. Xiao Xian borrowed the passage of time to directly hide his aura and appearance, turning into a middle-aged man with a cold face and dressed in white. Oh shit. Elder, tell me, where can this kid Xiao Xian go? We have visited this shabby place called Eye of the Ancients 300 times. Stop talking nonsense. Searching for Xiao Xian is an order from the Demon Emperor. How dare you complain? Don't dare. Don't dare. The elder of the demon clan mentioned the Demon Emperor. The demon disciples who were still complaining suddenly did not dare to say anything. But the next second, they were all stunned when they saw a middle-aged man holding a long sword standing on the road in front of them. Who are you? The elders of the demon clan are experienced and can roughly understand that this person is looking for trouble just by looking at the person standing motionless in the road. However, he still asks politely when his identity is unknown. But he didn't get the answer he wanted. Xiao Xian didn't mean to answer. However, Wei Wei raised his sword and pointed it at the neck of the demon elder. Seeing this, no matter how good-tempered the demon clan elder was, he couldn't help it anymore. He looked at Xiao Xian with a gloomy look and said, "Who are you, sir? Do you know that we are all members of the demon clan?" Noisy. Xiao Xian sneered. Without further ado, the serious sword in his hand suddenly struck out and went straight for the demon clan elder's throat. Snort. What a courage. A guy on the 5th level of the great power of Dao dares to make a mistake. Xiao Xian took action. In an instant, the demon elders felt his strength, and at the same time, there was a bit of contempt in their hearts. He is also a master of the 7th level of the power of the Avenue. He has been very valued by the Demon Emperor in these years, but now he is inexplicably blocked by a guy of the 5th level of the power of the Avenue. Naturally full of anger. Friend, if you leave now, I can pretend that nothing happened. The demon elder took a few steps back with a gloomy expression. Xiao Xian did not answer his question. The next second, The heavenly wolf sword changed its moves again and continued to slash at the face of the demon elder without mercy. To know. At this moment, although Xiao Xian is only at the 5th level of the power of the Great Avenue. But with the Sirius sword in his hand, the 7-star body armor on his body, and the Kirin illusion body protection, his combat power is by no means as simple as the 5th level of the power of the Avenue. Not to mention, he still has many trump cards. Court death. Look at me, Black Dragon chapter. The demon elder saw clearly that Xiao Xian had no intention of giving up at all, and his face became livid. The power of the Avenue in his hand moved and he struck Xiao Xian with a palm. But he didn't expect it. Xiao Xian didn't even look at his attack. Dodge with agility. The Sirius sword unexpectedly pierced from an incredible angle and pierced the chest of the demon elder directly from behind. The demon elder lowered his head and looked at the big hole in his chest in disbelief. Open your mouth to say something. However, before he could speak, blood flowed from his mouth like a stream. When the demon disciples saw the elder killed in one move, their faces turned pale with fright, and they looked at each other speechless. Xiao Xian did not give them a chance to speak. When the Sirius sword was swung, it was like a silver light, mercilessly harvesting the lives of the demon disciples. Soon, there was a body in the forest. Fortunately, the ancient eye is off the beaten path. These corpses may soon become food for the wild beasts here. This also saves Xiao Xian from spending time dealing with the body. Ding dong. Congratulations to the host for helping Chen Yao remove the charm spell and raising her favorability to 30%. Reward, 1 chance to advance the Sirius sword. Reward, 13 styles of Chunyang swordsmanship. Reward, a copy of the Universal Quest Codex. Reward, 5,000 Dao stones. Hear the system beep. Xiao Xian was not surprised. Although he did not promise Chen Yao to help her learn about charms at that time, this matter has always been in his mind. This time out. Now that he met the demon elder, he solved the problem easily. I looked through the space magic weapon of the demon elder. In addition to a few Taoist stones, he found a very unexpected thing, which turned out to be a nearby map. There is a city not far from here called Zhulo City. You only need to walk a dozen miles south to find it. As a practitioner, a dozen miles is nothing. Soon, Xiao Xian saw the tall and majestic city wall. At the city gate, there are several cultivator soldiers holding spiritual weapons and guarding the city gate. Judging from the strength of these soldiers, they are roughly at the 5th level of the power of the Avenue. Although they are not too strong, they are not weak either. According to the records in the Elder's space magic weapon, the ancient Ai and Zhulo City both belong to the Milan Empire, which is a relatively remote place in the easternmost part of the eastern wilderness continent. Zhulo City can be regarded as the largest city nearby. In this big city, there are relatively complete supporting facilities, such as auction houses, weapons shops, alchemy towers, escort agencies, etc. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 462. Go to the city gate. Xiao Xian casually took out the identity card of the demon elder and fooled the training soldiers at the door, and then followed the crowd into the city. I haven't been exposed to popularity for a long time. At this moment, I saw the crowds of people in Zhulo City rubbing shoulders and heels. He was really surprised. He didn't expect that there could be such a lively scene in this small city. While walking, he really wanted to see what novelties there were on this great continent. The rough stone has been opened. The latest batch of high-quality rough stones dug out from the Nanshan mines. 500 stones each, let's take a look. It's possible to get high-quality raw ore if you dig it? Fuck you, 500 stones is too expensive. Boss, are you a little too dark? Before, it was 200 stones per stone. Our rough stones are cheap, only 300 stones. Do you want to take a look? On this day, after passing this village, our caravan will go to another city. Turn around a street. Xiao Xian finally figured out why there were so many people today. It turns out that there happened to be a rough stone caravan passing through Jolo City today, selling the rough stone mines they dug in Jolo City. The rough stone is a strange stone. Basically they are dug out of mineral veins. The outside looks dark and ugly, no different from ordinary stones, but there is a chance of rare ores appearing inside the rough stones. If the raw ore is mined, it may contain the power of the Great Road. The power of the Dao in this kind of raw ore is extremely precious, far more precious than ordinary Dao stones, and even the most ordinary cultivators can understand it. If you can get 500 Dao stones in exchange for a chance to comprehend Dao power, it's not a loss. Ever since I understood the way of Kailan, Xiao Xian also completely felt that after comprehending the power of Taoism, he was naturally moved by how beneficial his own cultivation was. Don't think too hard about some things. Did you know that the chance of finding precious minerals in this kind of rough stone is very low? A small gamble will harm your health. Just as Xiao Xian was whispering, a gray-haired old man kindly persuaded, besides, you may not believe this kind of caravan coming from nowhere. If you really want to buy ore, you still have to go to Jolu. I can buy it at the ore market, but the price, it might be a little more expensive. Thank you for reminding. Xiao Xian still looked like a middle-aged man, and he also deliberately answered in a rough voice. He can also roughly understand that this kind of rough stone, which is similar to the nature of gambling, naturally has a lot of risks. It may soar into the sky, or it may lose everything. As for the ore market that the old man mentioned, the ore there is basically certain to have some power, but at the same time the price is high. More importantly, the Daolai ores in the ore market are naturally not treasures, at most they are only top quality. And even the best ore is definitely not something ordinary people can afford. Open. 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 I brought 50,000 Dao stones today. I don't believe that we can't find any useful ore. Young Master Wang is indeed very wealthy. This time he will definitely be able to find the fire ore, and he will surely shine at the family conference. Of course, you don't even know what kind of person our young Master Wang is. A chubby young man like Guy was bragging. At the same time, his words also attracted the attention of many people, who all expressed their approval and support for him. I heard someone wanted to open the rough stone. The crowd became excited and basically gathered towards the place where the rough stones were opened, as if they were going to a market. Xiao Xian didn't want to participate in this, but surrounded by the crowd, he was still forced to walk in the direction of the original stone. He had no choice but to follow and watch. I saw a central square. There are actually thousands of stones placed in various places. The stones are big and small. The big ones are as big as 5 or 6 people hugging each other, and the small ones are as big as watermelons. No surprise to Xiao Xian. When he tried to use the power of the avenue to explore the inside of these rough stones, he found that there was a thick layer of restrictions blocking the rough stones, as if there was a layer of black mist blocking them. Prince, how do you plan to drive? The owner of the rough stone looked at the god of wealth with a smile. You say which one to open, we will open that one, and we guarantee that we can open the ore that satisfies you. It's all thanks to you, boss. If you hadn't come to Jolo City, I wouldn't have gotten such a good red fire diamond mine. It turned out that the thick original stone slowly separated from the middle. The avenue of fire. Give the prince another one. Naturally, I was envious of Prince Wang. Boss Yuanqi's smile almost turned into a chrysanthemum. Xiao Xian originally thought that basically anyone who was a little smarter would not believe it. For a moment. That's really amazing, I want to buy some too. Congratulations. Young Master Wang, give us a chance. Prince Wang smiled and said, "Let me open all these rough stones next. Do you think there are any good things in this rough stone?" Ha ha ha. What everyone didn't expect was, young Master Wang is so lucky. If this square of ore is produced, it would be worth more than 3,000 Dao stones. Okay. A dazzling crimson light flashed out of the original stone. The avenue of fire can be regarded as a relatively rare ore avenue, and looking at the red color, it is obvious that the quality of the ore is still very good. I'm kidding, do you think Mr. Wang is a man who is short of money? I must keep this red fire mine for myself to understand. After my strength has greatly increased, it seems that the champion in this year's family conference is none other than Mr. Wang. But who knew that this wealthy prince was very excited, as if he had heard words of encouragement. He waved his hand, pointed at a piece of rough stone and said, "Open this piece first." They all looked at the chubby prince with envy. The second rough stone that Mr. Wang opened actually contained something good. "That's right, Prince Wang, you can't use all these rough stones, why don't you give them to me?" A group of people were talking about it. "You guys, why don't you hurry up and open the rough stone for Prince Wang? This time it's the oil greenwood diamond mine. Prince Wang is so lucky, right? The first time it was the red fire diamond mine, and the second time it was the greenwood diamond mine. Congratulations, Mr. Wang. Congratulations, Mr. Wang. With the red fire diamond mine, the future will be immeasurable." The boss of rough diamonds was also very happy. The value of the rough stone that Prince Wang bought for 300 stones increased more than 10 times in an instant. Crack. Several strong men came over, laboriously moved a piece of rough stone to a magic circle, then took a few steps back, and a beam of light appeared in the magic circle. Everyone watching the excitement was shocked. Wood diamond mine. For all this nonsense. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 463. At this time, as Wang Gongzi opened the second diamond mine, the atmosphere at the scene became lively instantly, and many onlookers took out Taoist stones and prepared to buy the rough stones in the square. Isn't this not good? I have already given you the money. I want to open all these rough stones. 2 diamond mines were opened in succession. Prince Wang also had a bit more greed in his heart. He obviously planned to open a few more pieces and didn't want to stop. "Master Wang, don't go too far. Looking at it like this, these diamond mines should all come from this batch of rough stones. It is a treasure of heaven and earth. Anyone who sees it has a share. Prince Wang can't swallow so many rough stones by himself, right? That's right. Everyone, bow your head and look up. Mr. Wang, please don't go too far. How about it? Prince Wang, give me some face." The attraction of diamond mines is simply too great. Although Prince Wang had long said that he wanted to buy these rough stones, when it came down to it, no one would give in to him in the face of huge interests. Except for the threats from a few young men. There are even a few sect masters with bad looks who are planning to take action. Seeing this, the chubby Prince Wang was obviously a little panicked. After discussing with the people around him with a gloomy look on his face, he squeezed out a few smiles and said, "Yes, the brothers have talked a lot, and everyone who sees them has their share. I won't buy the remaining rough stones." "Okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Wang. Sooner or later, I, the Hejian sect, will repay this favor from young Master Wang." Young Master Wang is indeed generous and has the air of a general. Prince Wang said these words. It aroused the approval of many people present, and then hurried forward to snap up the remaining rough stones in the square. On the other hand, the prince himself and a group of servants took the opportunity and left in a hurry with 2 diamond mines. Such a scene. Others didn't pay much attention. But Xiao Xian saw the whole process clearly, and felt a little strange. Why does it look like a pig-killing plate? But he is not sure now, and he is curious to see if anything useful can be found in the next rough stones. Crack! Crack! Oh no, why is it a broken stone? Me too, I'm so unlucky, so unlucky. I don't believe it. The rough stones were mined from the same vein. Why am I so unlucky? It was not as expected by Xiao Xian. Basically none of the next rough stones can produce useful diamond ores. The receivers were so angry that they jumped on their feet, but there was nothing they could do. On the contrary, the rough stone boss just now made a lot of money and was smiling from ear to ear. Just the more than 100 broken stones just now made him turn more than 30,000 stones. This was enough for him to buy several pieces of precious raw ore. Guys, I'm sorry. Maybe it's bad luck. Next time our caravan comes, try your luck. The boss of the original mine is very smart. After making money, I thought about running away. This made the cultivators in Julo City vomit blood with anger, but they were helpless. Finally, several cultivators who had lost their red eyes stood up angrily, with anger on their faces. I said, "Boss, you brought so many broken stones and deceived us all. Now you want to leave like this, isn't it a little bit too much? A few brothers got things wrong. You have to buy the rough stone yourself. Nothing can be found in it. This should be expected. You should not regret it now. The boss of Yuanqi is very arrogant. It seems to me that these stones are not mined from the veins at all. Is the boss lying to us? If it's really rough diamonds mined from mineral veins, how is it possible that not a single diamond mine can be opened? If you don't give us an explanation today, you can't leave." Several cultivators took advantage of the large number of people and directly stopped the original stone boss. For such a scenario, the boss of Yuanqi seemed to have expected it, and sneered, "Looking at your intentions, it seems that you don't want me to leave. Isn't this inappropriate? Hee hee. Profiteer, our dragon and tiger gate won't let you leave today. What can you do? If you don't spit out the Dao stone you swallowed today, you won't be able to leave." Several strong men directly blocked the way of boss Yuanqi. Most businessmen encounter this situation. I'm afraid that he would be a little scared or panicked, but this rough stone merchant was not afraid at all, but there was a bit of contempt on his face. What if I lose my composure and want to leave? The rough stone merchant sneered, "Is it possible that with just a few of you little shrimps, you can still stop me?" While talking, the rough stone merchant jumped out directly. At the same time, the strength of the several guards behind him instantly showed. Those guards turned out to be experts with 80% of the power of the avenue. The power of the avenue contained in their bodies was revealed, and before they took action, the strong men took several steps back. 80% of the power of the avenue. Incredible. How can a businessman have so many expert guards? Long Oman has encountered a tough situation today. The onlookers were also surprised. Even in the entire Jolo city, masters with 80% of the power of the avenue are considered to be among the best. Anyone from any family can become a worship elder. But now, a rough stone merchant can actually hire several such masters. What can you do if you are strong? If you don't give us an explanation for what happened with the original stone today, you will have deceived all of us cultivators in Jolo city. Do you think you can let this person go? The strong man who took the lead still gritted his teeth and said to the onlookers. However, at this moment, when the guards around the rough stone merchant showed their strength, the onlookers did not dare to say anything more. They looked at each other. They all retreated. Just kidding, although the dragon and tiger sect has some strength in Jolo city, even the master of the dragon and tiger sect only has the perfect strength of the power of the great Dao. Now, several masters with 80% of the power of the avenue suddenly appeared. Although the onlookers were angry, due to the difference in strength, they did not dare to step forward to provoke. "If you don't get out of here, don't blame me for being rude." The rough stone merchant sneered and glanced at the guards around him. Some of the guards were not polite either. He walked forward and surrounded a few strong men with a sinister smile. "Boy, since you are sincerely seeking death, don't blame me for being rude. Today next year will be your death." Black Panther Palm. A business guard's power flowed in the palm of his hand. He raised a fist and hit the chest of the strong man in the lead. The strong man's reaction was not slow. He was busy using his energy, and folded his hands to protect his heart. But in the face of a huge gap in strength, one punch, the strong man's body was like a kite with its string broken, flying far away. Then, a mouthful of blood spurted out, and he saw that he could not survive. "Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors." Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 464. Damn it, brother. Although the strength of these strong men is not very strong, but when they saw the eldest brother of their sect being beaten, they all stood up and stood in front of several businessmen guards, trying to rescue their eldest brother. However, in the face of absolute strength, their rescue seemed a bit like a mantis trying to use its arms as a cart. 3 punches and 2 kicks. These strong men were beaten away, each one vomiting blood, but they still glared at the caravan guards. In response, Xiao Xian just shook his head slightly. Although he didn't think that these caravan guards were doing the right thing by beating people in the street, but really speaking, when Long Omen and the others bought the rough stone, they should have known that opening the rough stone was a huge gamble. If you are willing to admit defeat, you should not settle the consequences. After all, people on both sides are not necessarily worthy of sympathy. Thinking of this, Xiao Xian turned around and left. But at this moment, the sound of a little girl crying and pleading was heard. It turned out that after several disciples of the Longhu sect were knocked to the ground, a little girl from their sect went up regardless of the danger and wanted to stop the caravan's guards. But these caravan guards are addicted to beating people. How could he pay attention to a little girl? The tall and thin guard in the lead raised his palm and hit the little girl directly. Ding dong. System mission: rescue the little girl. Tips on the identity of the little girl: the little girl is Gong Sunhae's lost daughter. She is pregnant with a sword and has an innate talent for swordsmanship. If she can be cultivated, she can become a sword fairy in the future. Task reward: 1 chance to advance the serious sword. Task reward: 1 chance to learn the way of the sword. Mission reward: wall breaking pills, 3. Mission reward: exploring the secret eye. Is it another system task? Xiao Xian was a little moved. In fact, when he saw the little girl in danger, he had plans to take action even if there was no system prompt. Since cultivating the great Dao, he then knew that the spirit of the Dao was cultivating the heart. If you want to cultivate the Dao, the most important thing is to cultivate a Dao heart that is compassionate to heaven and earth, and perfect for heaven and earth. With such a Taoist mind, only then will the cultivators have smooth sailing and get twice the result with half the effort in the subsequent cultivation process. Moreover, the most important thing in practicing Taoism is to follow the natural way and follow the good path. Some of the opportunities in heaven and earth also depend on the opportunities of each cultivator. When the opportunity comes, you can easily get it. But without this opportunity, even if these heavenly and earthly treasures are placed in front of them, they will not be able to obtain them, and they may even bring disaster to themselves. It's ridiculous that most practitioners in the world are cultivators. For the sake of some immediate resources, he would not hesitate to damage his own luck. In the end, you rest on your laurels and remain stuck in a certain realm for the rest of your life, unable to make progress. Wait a minute. Brothers, please forgive others. It's just that these brothers have gone too far. What's the crime with the little girl? Don't do anything to the little girl. Just before the caravan guard's slap fell on the little girl, Xiao Xian stood up and stood in front of the caravan guards, blocking their actions and blocking the little girl behind him. At this time, when several caravan guards showed their strength and took action, everyone on the street ran away, and almost no one dared to provoke them. This obviously fueled the arrogance of the caravan guards. At this moment, after they looked at each other, they all walked up to Xiao Xian with a sneer. "Brother, it looks like you want to do something brave, right? Before that, do you want to see if you have this ability?" Ha ha ha, people nowadays really don't know how high the sky is, and they don't even know where this place is. Do they really think they are the number one person? Our caravan from the Nanshan mine dares to block it? We are really looking for death. Boss Yuanqi took a look at Xiao Xian. After discovering that he was alone, he naturally became even more arrogant and did not take Xiao Xian seriously at all. Xiao Xian can understand this. After all, after Long Omen failed to challenge them just now, they had already shown a strong deterrent force, and even the inspectors of the dynasty did not control them. So, brothers, come with me and destroy this nosy guy. Xiao Xian looked serious. Unfortunately, the person they faced today was Xiao Xian. But I didn't expect that these guys would be so ruthless. 5 or 6 muscular caravan guards surrounded him. His words were loud and full of momentum. When a man is about to die, his words are good. It also aroused emotion and praise from many practitioners on the street. Today, I will let you know what regret is. But if they wanted to take the initiative to cause trouble, Xiao Xian couldn't bear it anymore and couldn't help but sneered. What? It seems that this boss wants to cause trouble for me. Xiao Xian has been in the world for tens of millions of years, and he has seen all the great powers of heaven and earth who can move mountains, create seas, and turn clouds and rain. Naturally, he doesn't pay attention to a few caravan guards. Isn't this just asking for trouble? The boss of Yuanqi had a sarcastic look on his face. I want to see how capable you are. Can you stand and walk out of here today? At the same time, he also annoyed the rough stone boss and his caravan guards. They were all businessmen from the Nanshan mine veins, and they traveled around and sold a lot of rough stones. Instead, he took the initiative to find him. There is only one step left to break through to the spiritual realm. But I didn't expect that today, a little Xiao Xian would dare to brave the disapproval of the world and challenge their Nanshan mine caravan in person. Xiao Xian's brows also wrinkled slightly. He. Hear this. Doesn't this mean that you don't take them seriously? Yes, today I will let you know when to take care of things and what not to take care of. Sects such as Long Omen and other cultivator sects also encounter many cultivators. However, although their actions were excessive, they were all for making money, and Xiao Xian was too lazy to expose them. Since you are cultivators of heaven and earth, you should fulfill your responsibilities as people of heaven and earth. Looking at your age, why do you do things so recklessly? I urge you to bear fruit of good deeds and never do evil. Others didn't know it, but Xiao Xian knew it very well. The rough stone merchant and that bullshit prince just now were clearly acting on purpose. Since you are so awesome, do you know that you will be beaten soon? Just deceiving people like Long Omen. Naturally they think they are great. The rough stone merchant waved his hand. In fact, he just wanted to save the little girl and had no intention of conflicting with these rough stone merchants. Among these people, the one with the lowest strength is at the 7th level of the power of the avenue, and the one who takes the lead has even reached the state of perfect power of the avenue. But in the end, even if they suffered a loss, they were basically controlled by the forces in the Nanshan mine and did not dare to go too far. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 465. For a while, the various weapons, fists, and kicks in the hands of the caravan guards all attacked Xiaoxian. The reason why they swarmed up was because they were sure that Xiaoxian was a practitioner of the power of the Great Avenue, that's all. Ordinary practitioners of the power of the Great Avenue, if they are surrounded by practitioners of the same level, they will have 3 heads and 6 arms, and it will be difficult to escape in the end. Most likely you will still be seriously injured, even killed on the spot. But what they didn't know was that Xiaoxian III had seen countless crisis scenes during his cultivation, and he didn't pay attention to the situation in front of him at all. Not to mention the leader of the Blood Sword sect. Bai Qingshan, who was in the realm of spiritual gods, was killed by his horse. Even if the elder Yuanhe of Chixia Palace appeared, he could turn disaster into good luck. At the moment, why would he pay attention to just a few caravan guards with the power of the avenue? Xianyang 9 Nether Formation, Rise. Xiaoxian took his time. Under the change of fingering techniques, a magic circle slowly emerged from the ground, and the power of the avenue swept in more than a dozen caravan guards in an instant. They just stood there, motionless. It was as if he had become a puppet whose soul had been extracted. At this time, everyone present was surprised. They couldn't believe that such a wonderful thing could happen in the world. The caravan guard who was so aggressive just now was suddenly solved by Xiaoxian? Is this the legendary evil magic? It is said that in ancient times, there was a magic that extracted the blood of human beings. Once caught by this magic, even the most advanced people would become like puppets on strings and unable to move. Among them, the most surprising person is the boss of Yuanqi. He thought. With so many guards, it should be a matter of course to capture Xiaoxian. Who knew that Xiaoxian could turn defeat into victory by some unknown means? Not to mention, it reminds me of the so-called ancient magic. He was so frightened that he stepped back one after another, his intestines turned green with regret, and he never dared to go against Xiaoxian again. In fact, Xiaoxian was equally surprised at this moment. This was his first time using the Xianyang 9 Nether technique. I thought that this technique could only temporarily weaken the combat effectiveness of these caravan guards. Who knew that it would be so overbearing and directly control these caravan guards? In a fierce battle, one party lost concentration for a moment. All of them may affect the trend of the entire battle, and the defeated brother will be completely defeated. Nowadays, Xiaoxian can make these caravan guards motionless by using any formation. This effect is simply a bit unbelievable. Now, little else needs to be said. The result of the battle is already obvious. Boss Yuanqi was even more frightened. For a moment, he stared at Xiaoxian blankly, not knowing what to say. How about it? Now, am I qualified to save her? Xiaoxian touched the head of the little girl behind him. What's your name? My name is Gongsun Xiao. The little girl was obviously frightened by what she just looked like. Gongsun Xiao. Xiaoxian nodded slightly. Sure enough, his surname is Gongsun. It seems that he is really a descendant of Gongsun Heya. However, why would Gongsun Heya, a great person like him, let his daughter follow a small sect like Longoman? For a moment, he really had no idea. But now he was not in a hurry to seek answers. He just turned back and glanced at the injured at Longhu Gate. He took out a few healing elixirs from the space magic weapon and handed them to Gongsun Xiao. Go and distribute these healing elixirs to your sect disciples. Thank you, Uncle. Gongsun Xiao quickly thanked him. It doesn't matter. Xiaoxian smiled gently, and then turned his attention to the original stone boss's side. At this time, his eyes became cold again. Boss Yuanqi also wanted to cry but had no tears. He was a mineral businessman. He had acted with Prince Wang before, and only the two of them knew about it. Doing these things is just to earn more Dao stones, nothing more. Who knows, in the end he accidentally provoked a ruthless character like Xiaoxian. If God gave him another chance, he would not dare to provoke Xiaoxian even if he died. But now, even if he regrets it again, it's a bit late. Hurry up. One is the rough stone excavated from the core vein area. The probability of digging out the vein is higher, but it is generally not sold. The other is the rough stone excavated from the edge vein area. The rough stone here is almost impossible to mine. What valuable mineral veins have been discovered? He could understand that these people cheated in order to earn rough stones, but he could not forgive them for committing crimes in the street. If he was willing, he could easily capture these guys. Xiaoxian looked at the original stone boss. What I need is a mineral vein that contains Dao power, do you know? The rough stone sold to Long Omen and others just now was of the latter type. Sir, we are just a caravan. How can we know whether there are mineral veins in these rough stones? Tao Shi, those are not mine, and I don't lack them either. What are you guys doing standing still? Hurry up, get those rough stones over and let this young master hold your eyes. Boss Yuanqi was a little panicked. After swallowing the healing elixir given by Xiaoxian, the injuries of those in Long Omen gradually recovered, and even the strong man who took the lead also recovered to some extent. I almost cried. But those rough stones were all mines they had disguised in advance. Boss Yuanqi explained tremblingly. Now, Xiaoxian directly asked for a vein containing raw stones, which really put him in a bit of a dilemma. After all, he didn't know which rough stone contained a vein. It's not that he can't understand what these businessmen do to make money, but deliberately setting up scams in order to make money is a bit too much. Taoist stones are of course important. Although he had previously planned to let Prince Wan cooperate with him in acting this. But now, facing Xiaoxian, the rough stone boss really didn't dare to go too far. In the end, he could only honestly take out the first kind of rough stone, hoping to fool Xiaoxian. Boss Yuanqi ordered his men anxiously. For him, Boss Yuanqi puts his attitude very low. In fact, this time he brought the caravan to Jolo City and indeed prepared two kinds of rough stones to sell. How about I return all those Taoist stones to Long Omen? I won't make any money. I just ask you, big brother, to spare me this time, okay? Are you unwilling to cooperate? Xiaoxian didn't even listen. No, no, no. Master, please don't be angry, we will give it, we will give it. So to say. But for these. Big brother, uncle, I made a mistake, I know I was wrong. What he really needs is a vein containing the power of the avenue. The other side. If the rough stone boss can find him some ore that contains the power of the avenue, it will be of great use to him. Xiaoxian's face darkened. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 466. This young master, I would like to thank you for saving me. But these rough stones must never be opened again. The rough stones brought by this profiteer are all broken stones. It is estimated that nothing can be opened. Long Feng is the senior brother of Long Omen. He was the first strong man to be knocked out just now. Uncertain. I want to believe that this boss won't beat us up anymore, right? Xiaoxian turned around, looked at the original stone boss seriously, and said, I still hope to get the boss's approval on this point. Of course, small guarantee, there must be a vein of minerals in it. Don't worry, as long as you have better luck and open a few more, there will definitely be what you need in here. Boss Yuanqi glanced at the caravan guard who was still nailed to the spot and unable to move, and said with a sad face, "Even if you are brave enough, you still don't dare to lie to the young master. Okay, you really did lie to us just now. Refund your money, or I'll tear your junk car apart. Nanshan caravan is so shameless. From now on, our Shenlong sect and your Nanshan caravan will be at odds with each other. So does our Juxian sect. The mountain and sea demon sect is also at odds with your Nanshan caravan. The boss of Yuanqi knows everything." For a time, many sects on the street expressed their attitude and regarded the Nanshan caravan as irreconcilable enemies. For this result, Boss Yuanqi was about to cry, but things had reached the stage and he couldn't care so much. He could only look at Xiaoxian carefully, hoping that Xiaoxian would not get angry on the spot. With these words, "I feel relieved. Then I'll choose a few rough stones today. The boss won't refuse, right?" When Xiaoxian said this, he looked at another pile of rough stones in the distance. This sight made him a little surprised. He obviously saw it. The quality of this pile of rough stones is much higher than the previous pile at Longoman. It seems this rough stone boss is really a smart man. He actually had the guts to play tricks on the rough stones. Xiaoxian thought to himself, walked into the pile of raw stones and started picking. Seeing this scene, the rough stone boss also breathed a sigh of relief. He was actually a little unsure about the pile of rough stones shown to Xiaoxian. He just knows. These rough stones are basically rough stones excavated from the core veins. Perhaps, the chance of finding precious mineral veins is higher, but it's not certain that something good will appear in it. It is a good thing to be able to use these rough stones to stabilize Xiaoxian at the moment. As for the future, as long as Xiaoxian does not trouble him, he can return to the Nanshan mine. Wait until you reach your own territory. He doesn't think this matter can be settled like this. After all, the sect to which Nanshan mineral lode is attached is the Snow Wolf sect. In terms of strength, the Snow Wolf sect can be regarded as one of the best in the Kanglong Empire. The leader of the Snow Wolf sect, Leng Alan, is one of the most talented practitioners in the Kanglong Empire. If only they knew that a guy with only the power of Dao Dao actually provoked the caravan of Nanshan mine. I will never give up. Just these $5. Open it for me now. Xiaoxian selected 5 rough stones from the ore pile and placed them on the magic circle. Originally, he had no intention of choosing, but when he got close to the pile of rough stones, he heard the system prompts. His exploratory spiritual eyes could actually see through the rough stones and see what was going on inside them. Therefore, only then could he make such an accurate judgment and select the 5 most brilliant rough stones. Yes. Can you open it for this young master quickly? The boss of Yuanqi quickly urged. But at this time, Longfeng and others looked at each other, a little confused about what Xiaoxian meant. After all, it has been determined that the rough stone boss is a greedy profiteer, and most of the rough stones in his hands will not be able to mine veins. Why did Xiaoxian still open these rough stones? Even if the original stone boss dares not accept money because of his strength, isn't this a waste of time? This young master, you. No need to say anything, just open it and take a look. I'll pay for these 5 rough stones. Xiaoxian didn't mean to take advantage, so he took out 1,500 Dao stones and handed them to the original stone boss. Is this money enough? These rough stones can be given to the young master without any charge. The rough stone boss is in a dilemma. At this time, he only wanted to get rid of the plague god Xiaoxian as soon as possible and return to the Nanshan mine safely. This would also be considered as completing his mission. But now, Xiaoxian actually plans to buy the rough stone. Although the Dao stones he was given were worth a lot, after what happened before, he really didn't dare to take these Dao stones easily. Just in case this time, Xiaoxian didn't find any good veins of minerals. Didn't the people at the scene chop him alive on the spot? Do not worry. I'm a reasonable person. The only reason to deal with them is because they bully others, not because there is nothing in the rough stone. Xiao Xian shook his head. You don't have to be nervous about this. Since the price of these rough stones is 300 stones each, you just need to get them as many as you want. Even if nothing comes out, I will not blame you. Say it. Boss Yuanji was also filled with emotion and quickly thanked him. He hurriedly put away the Dao stone, and then urged the guys around him to start helping Xiao Xian cut the rough stone. At this time, he actually had an idea, hoping that Xiao Xian could really come up with something good from this, so that he could give him an explanation. Someone wants to open the rough stone. This kind of thing is considered rare. Not to mention, the person who planned to open the rough stone at this time turned out to be a ruthless man who had just dealt with the Nanshan caravan, which naturally attracted many people to watch. Someone wants to mine rough stones again. Is this because they have too much money and no place to spend it? It's unbelievable. So many people in front of me haven't come up with anything good, yet there are still people who want to try it. Do they really think they are the children of destiny? He has money but no place to spend it? I don't think he can produce anything. I heard the onlookers sarcastic. The most anxious person is the boss of Yuanji. He hurriedly ran to these people and yelled angrily, "You guys, if you don't have the money to mine the rough stones, just keep your mouth shut and talk nonsense. The rough stones produced by our Nanshan caravan are all high-quality rough stones. This time, this young man will definitely be able to find something good. Maybe we can create a road of water and fire. Don't be envious." Boss Yuanji said angrily. What he didn't know was, at this time, Xiao Xian had already seen these rough stones in advance. Through his exploratory eyes, he could see that there seemed to be something different inside the rough stones. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 467. Open it. Not just the people who were there. Xiao Xian is also curious about the inside of the original stone. After all, although the exploring eye is magical, through the exploring eye, he can only see the few rough stones he selected, and there seems to be a strange color or texture inside. It's like this rough stone that's as big as a fist. Inside is a bright deep purple, just like a red bud flower. Although he didn't understand what the purple color represented, he could still roughly guess that this thing must be extraordinary. At least it won't be the same broken stone as before. The magic circle is activated. After a flash of cyan light, the rough stone slowly separates from the middle. At this moment, a purple light flickered from inside, and rich purple tao qi emitted, surprising everyone present. Even the original stone boss swallowed his saliva. The way of Bauhinia? Bauhinia is the king of plants in the world, and the way of Bauhinia is also called the way of the king by all those who practice the way of plants in the world. Some big families want to prepare a trace of the way of Bauhinia for their descendants. No matter tens of thousands or even hundreds of thousands of Dao stones are spent. With just 300 Dao stones, Xiao Xian was able to find ore containing the Dao of Bauhinia. This time, he made a lot of money. Oh my god! Oh my god! This is the way of the Bauhinia. My eyes are going to go blind. It's unbelievable. When did this batch of rough stones become so good? If I had known, I would have bought this batch of rough stones. After the emergence of the Bauhinia way, the onlookers who had made sarcastic remarks just now were stunned. Looking at Xiao Xian, it was like looking at a monster, with eyes full of envy and jealousy. Equally excited, there is also the rough diamond boss present. Although he also envied Xiao Xian's luck, he also understood that not everyone has this kind of luck, and envy has no effect. On the other hand, he also hopes to open up the Bauhinia way. to extinguish Xiaoxian's anger just now. It's best to let him leave happily and stop causing trouble for him. As for the future, whether to use the strength of the Snow Wolf sect to get back the ore of the Bauhini away, it depends on Xiaoxian's luck. This young master. Keep driving. Xiaoxian didn't care about this so-called Bauhini away. From the main road. There are only 5 categories of heaven, earth, humans, ghosts, Rakshasa, dragon, phoenix, unicorn, white tiger, turtle, 5 auspicious beasts, 5 elements of metal, wood, water, fire, earth, etc. These are considered the avenue between heaven and earth. The way of Bauhinia. Although it can be considered a relatively powerful one among the great avenues. But compared with the previous avenues, it is still slightly inferior. Since Xiaoxian chose the path of Dao cultivation at that time, he naturally had to choose the more powerful path of Bauhinia, which he did not want to practice. Of course, this kind of thought is just buried in Xiaoxian's heart. Didn't say it out loud. Otherwise, I'm afraid everyone present will be jealous to death. Crack. 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 Several more rays of light flickered in the magic circle. 3 rough stones cracked from it again. The way of red fire. The way of green wood. The way of the dragon. 3 more avenues are revealed. The dazzling colors and unparalleled momentum directly demonstrate the powerful power contained in these 3 avenues. The main attack of red fire is an unparalleled attack method. When practiced to the extreme, it can burn the sky and destroy the earth. The main defense of green wood is a recovery method with strong defense. Practitioners who practice the green wood method can independently recover their physical strength and power during battles. The continuous defense is a headache for all practitioners. The way of the dragon is a great way passed down by the descendants of the dragon clan. With a strong body and familiarity with the ocean, practitioners who practice the way of the dragon can freely shuttle through the sea water, and can also practice the way of the ocean. It can be said, these 3 avenues are more precious than the previous Bauhinia way. Likewise, the resources required for cultivation are astronomical. Unless you are a powerful clan, you cannot practice. This is unbelievable. Boss Yuanqi was completely shocked this time. He originally thought that this was just an opportunity to appease Xiaoxian and open the original stone, but who knew that things would actually reach this point. Needless to say, there is no need to mention the Bauhinia way in front. Just talking about it now, any one of these 3 avenues, red fire, green wood, and dragon, has already made him regret it. If you could turn back time. Now, even if he gets beaten, he is not willing to sell these rough stones to Xiaoxian. This young master. Open the remaining rough stone as well. Boss Yuanqi didn't wait to say more. Xiaoxian said directly. At this time, everyone present, including Xiaoxian himself, looked at the remaining rough stone with curiosity. After all, there are good things in the rough stones that were opened before. With a little prediction, you can know that the remaining rough stones should also have good things. For Xiaoxian, same thing. Before, he had a rough look at this rough stone when he looked at it with his spiritual eyes. However, after looking at it for a long time, he just felt that it was pitch black inside the original stone. It seemed that there was nothing, but it also had an inexplicable attraction. That's why he chose this rough stone without hesitation. Open. Boss Yuanqi gritted his teeth. The 2 guys preparing the magic circle were also ready. When the magic circle was activated, the cyan light shone directly towards the original stone. However, this time the rough stones did not separate as before. On the contrary, the original stone shook and remained motionless. Tried it again, but still the same. This time, everyone present didn't understand and didn't know what was going on. But the face of the rough stone boss changed obviously. He seemed to realize something, swallowed a mouthful of saliva, and looked at the rough stone greedily. What's the situation? Won't the boss give me an explanation? Why is your rough stone so hard? It can't even cut through the magic circle. The onlookers asked. I'm sorry, I won't sell this rough stone anymore. The owner of the rough stone stretched out his hand and hugged the last rough stone. You're a bit shameless as a boss, aren't you? They've already given me Taoist stones, but if you say you won't sell it, you won't sell it. Do you have any integrity? I will return the Dao stone, but I won't sell this rough stone. It seems that there must be something good in this rough stone. Otherwise, how could the boss not make any profit from the stone? He obviously wants to keep it for himself. You're kidding, can this young master let him keep it for himself? Xiao Xian saw this scene. His face looked a little ugly. If the tiger doesn't show off its power, do you really think it's a sick cat? Although he had long seen that the rough stone boss was a profiteer, he just didn't want to make the matter bigger, so he gave in a few times, that's all. Who knew this guy would drink a toast instead of eating it and get a fine drink? Then don't blame him for being rude. Think of this. Xiao Xian took a step forward and said coldly, Boss, is this a bit too much? Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 468. Yes, no matter what happens today, I won't sell this rough stone to you. The boss of Yuanji looked determined. Both hands tightly grasped the last rough stone, as if they were unwilling to let go. However, if the strength of the original stone boss is similar to Xiao Xian, then his appearance may make Xiao Xian consider whether to give up. But now, Xiao Xian's strength is far stronger than that of boss Yuanji. Therefore, the appearance of boss Yuanji does not seem to have that great effect. After all, Xiao Xian is completely powerful enough to take away the original stone by force. Boss. I hope we can communicate in a relatively friendly way without necessarily using means, so please respect yourself. Xiao Xian frowned. Playing rogue? Under the sun. When it comes to playing rogue, it is always him who plays with others. When will it be someone else's turn to play with him? If he had the blessing of the system and the avenue, if he still couldn't beat a small rough stone boss, he might as well find a tofu and kill himself. You don't want your family members to die overnight, right? You don't want to be terminally ill and die suddenly on the street for no apparent reason, right? Brother, it's really not worth risking your own life for the so-called interests of the section. Xiao Xian is good at tempting. He understood that without business there would be no treachery, and without treachery there would be no business. Businessmen like Boss Yuanji may think more about their own interests than the sect behind them. Therefore, Xiao Xian believed it. As long as there is enough reason, he can sell, not to mention a rough stone, even the underwear of the saint of their sect. At the moment, Xiao Xian just gave him a reason not to refuse. Do you want your own life or the Dao stone? Boss Yuanji is also smart. After thinking for a second, he made the right choice and decided to give up. On the mainland, the situation is changing, and the weak will eat the strong. A casual cultivator like Xiao Xian, who didn't know where he came from, had no sect, no master, and a body of exercises that looked like evil magic. Such people are often the most dangerous, because they do things without thinking about the consequences. If the rough stone boss wants a stable life, the best choice is to take out the rough stone honestly. Perhaps, this way Xiao Xian can spare his life. What do you think? Boss. Looking at what you mean today, is it possible that you really want to compete with me? Xiao Xian used both kindness and power. After a carrot, I was given a huge stick. After thinking about these joints, the owner of the rough stone was much smarter. He carefully took out the rough stone, but the next second he still explained, Sir, to be honest, I don't recommend that you open this rough stone here. What's the meaning? A common man is not guilty, but he is guilty of carrying a jade. The owner of the original stone said in a cryptic manner, although there is peace and stability on the Dao continent now, if a strange treasure is born, some old monsters will inevitably be born. If the young master wants to be safer, it is better not to open it now. After hearing this, Xiao Xian was even more confused. At the moment, even he can't see what's in the rough stone. Why is this rough stone boss so sure? Is it possible that he knows what is inside? Isn't this a little strange? Boss, you're not going to beat me up, are you? Didn't you say that the things in the original stone can only be known after opening it and looking at it? Why can you know what is inside? Is it possible that you can predict the future? Xiao Xian was confused. Besides, how can you know that there is a rare treasure inside and not a disaster? I heard the word disaster. Boss Yuanqi's face changed obviously. But he explained quickly. Sir, please don't think that I'm lying to you. It's just that, our sect master once encountered a rough stone that couldn't be opened by ordinary magic circles. Later, he used a special magic circle in the sect to open it. A peerless skill appeared, and with this skill, one of the strongest sects in the Empire Snow Wolf sect. If that wasn't the case, how dare I deceive you? Really? Absolutely true. Xiao Xian saw that the boss was serious. Instead, he felt that this matter seemed to be somewhat credible. However, as for what his boss said, that he had to go to the Snow Wolf sect to open the original stone, he didn't believe it at all. Joke. After all, he is a person who has cultivated to the top on both roads. With his strength, he may not be considered an emperor-like figure in this great continent, but this does not prevent him from having thousands of ways to open the original stone. If nothing else works, how about blackmailing the system and asking the system to open the rough stone? Then no need. In that case, just take out the original stone. Xiao Xian got the needed information and simply asked the original stone boss for the original stone. In this regard, the rough stone boss had no choice but to hand over the rough stone honestly, with a look of reluctance on his face, as if he had lost some of his treasures. A group of people from Longomen also looked at the rough stone boss with eager eyes. It seemed that if he didn't call this thing out, he would fight him to the death. Others may not care about this matter, but Xiao Xian noticed that although the people of Longomen are not very strong, they are better in unity. At that time, Long Feng, the senior brother of Longomen, was knocked to the ground. Even if a group of people know it, their strength was not as good as those of the caravan guards, but they still stepped forward bravely. Even a little girl like Gongsun Xiao Xiao could stand up. It is enough to prove that the relationship within the Longhu sect is very good. Sir, you are so lucky to be able to get so many good things. Long Feng stood up and said with a smile, if these things are used for cultivation, maybe you can get a closer understanding of the Great Road, and your strength can be greatly improved. It's just luck. Brother Long Feng, do you want to take another gamble? Xiao Xian glanced at Long Feng and said, maybe you can come up with something better. But this time, Long Feng shook his head and refused. Hey, we don't have the luck like you, master. Master, you are really, how do you know my name? Speaking of the latter, Long Feng was also stunned. Isn't it your name on your chest? Xiao Xian smiled. Oh. Long Feng was stunned for a moment, then he realized and couldn't help laughing. Haha, Uncle Long is so stupid. He writes his own name on his chest, and he still asks others, he, Gongsun Xiao Xiao also joked. You little girl, if you are talking nonsense, be careful Uncle Long spanks you. Long Feng patted Gongsun's little head lovingly. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not fo. Chapter 469. Hear the conversation between Longfeng and Gongsun Xiao. Instead, Xiao Xian felt awkward and his face looked a little strange. It seemed that something was not quite right. Listen to the conversation between them. Why do you feel like a bad uncle and a little girl? Ahem. Stop making trouble, sir, what do you want to call me? Longfeng reacted quickly, and seemed to notice that Xiao Xian was a little embarrassed, so he quickly came over and asked, Young master, he doesn't look like a native of Julu City, does he? Yes, this is my first time coming to Julu. My name is Xiao Xian anyway. His face has changed, and Xiao Xian doesn't care to say his name. Xiao Xian. You're just, no, it's rumored that the talented man with the rare treasure from heaven is a young man. Yes, it shouldn't be you. When I heard Xiao Xian's name, the first reaction of the practitioners of Long Omen was to be stunned. But then, everyone breathed a sigh of relief. According to the previous legend, Xiao Xian was an amazing young talent and a proud man of heaven. The Xiao Xian in front of him now is obviously a middle-aged man. This shows that this Xiao Xian is not the other Xiao Xian. What do you think? Is there any other Xiao Xian? Xiao Xian wanted to hear his image in the hearts of ordinary cultivators like Long Omen. Of course. It's not suitable to stay here for a long time. Mr. Xiao, please come with me. Longfeng wanted to say something more. But seeing the bustle of people around the street, he still lowered his voice and pulled Xiao Xian into a restaurant. In a restaurant private room, Xiao Xian sat by the window, looking out the window at the bustling scene. He also felt a little familiar. Since leaving Tianwu continent, he had rarely seen such a pyrotechnic environment. I don't know what the Xiao family's situation is at this moment. Thinking of this, he secretly clenched his fists and vowed that if anyone bullied the Xiao family again, he will definitely make these people pay. After thinking about this, Xiao Xian's face showed some contempt and disdain, and even some unexplained anger. Saw this scene, Longfeng and others looked at each other. I don't understand. What happened to this great master who just used his strength to defeat all the caravan guards? Nothing. This matter has nothing to do with you. Xiao Xian waved his hand. You should tell me who the person with the same name as me is. Is it possible that this person is so famous? Longfeng didn't know why. Thinking that Xiao Xian was just curious, he naturally knew everything. Young Master Xiao, you don't know. This young Master Xiao Xian is a great person. It is said that when he was born, there were visions between heaven and earth, and all living things were surrendered. He is such a destined son. Now, I, the king of Kanglong Empire, are offering a reward to find this proud man of heaven. The king also said that he would marry the third princess to this proud man of heaven. Third princess. Xiao Xian was stunned. He didn't expect that. He had just arrived on this great continent, and he had caused such a big commotion. Even the king of an empire had given him a marriage. The third princess of our Kanglong Empire is a fairy. Not only is he good looking, and his status is respected, but the skills he practices are also quite powerful. It is said that he has reached the perfection of the power of the Great Avenue, and if he takes one step further, he will become a master in the realm of spiritual gods. Not to mention, her master is the most powerful fifth-grade alchemist in the Kanglong Empire. Elder Qi Qian. Longfeng said with emotion, it can be said that the third princess is the dream lover of all the bachelors in the entire Kanglong Empire. Xiao Xian was also a little surprised. I don't need any help. I'm just curious. I don't think you're a gambler. Why are you so stubborn about buying rough stones? Indeed, it was discovered that Longfeng was not the kind of practitioner who was dissolute and gambling. On the contrary, he was a forthright and kind-hearted person. In addition, the royal family has generally been inherited in the local area for a long time, and has stronger local credibility. There will be no conflict with the rough stone merchant just now because of betting on rough stones. It doesn't matter. After thinking about this, Xiao Xian just smiled and didn't say much more. This incident made Xiao Xian feel a little surprised. If he had to accept thanks from everyone, wouldn't it mean that he wouldn't have to do anything every day but only need to accept thanks from others? Brother Xiao Xian. Xiao Xian really felt that it was a bit interesting. This is indeed a great advantage. Unless there's something hidden? On this continent, there are various forces. I was really rash before I went down. I even addressed him as a young master. It seems that I should have called you eldest brother a long time ago. Longfeng signaled the several sect disciples in front of him with his eyes, raised his wine glass at the same time, and said to Xiao Xian, "Come here, please let brother Xiao Xian drink this glass of wine. This is our Longhu sect's gratitude to you." There are generally three types of forces on the Dao continent. But just now, when something like that happened, it was obvious that there was some deeper reason behind it. This was also something Xiao Xian was more curious about now. So, brother Xiao is really not from Zhulo City? I wonder why brother Xiao came to our Zhulo City? We, Long Omen, are willing to help brother Xiao, Longfeng said with his hands in hand. After all, no matter how much you say, the royal family is still a powerful local force, so they won't want to marry off their royal princess, right? Although sometimes the royal family does not have enough strength to swallow up these blessed lands, being able to know this information in advance is already an advantage. Thank you very much. Now there is a third princess from the royal family who openly said that she wants to marry Xiao Xian. Therefore, many sects will take the initiative to establish good relations with the local royal family, hoping to obtain more royal intelligence and information. And after hearing these words from Longfeng, Xiao Xian didn't care. Such people probably don't like betting on rough stones. The royal family may not be the most powerful among the three major cultivator forces, but it has to be said that they are the largest in number. Xiao Xian was a little curious. So at this moment, over the past tens of millions of years, he has helped as many as 8,000 people, if not 10,000. In fact, it has been so long since I came to Daodao continent. He also had some basic understanding of Daodao continent. After he had been in contact with Longfeng for a while. Generally, heavenly treasures, secret realms and blessed lands are discovered by subordinate forces of the royal family. One is the local royal family, which is generally responsible for managing the local ordinary people, but the high-level officials are basically strong practitioners. The second is the local cultivation sect, which can be regarded as a gathering place for practitioners, and the practitioners inside basically all practice. This sect's exercises. The third one is the sect, which is also the most mysterious of the three powers. It is said that even the exercises they practice are different from ordinary practitioners. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 470. This. To be honest, our Longhu sect can be considered a major sect in Zhulo City, and I can be considered a cultivator of some status, but, because of a minor illness, I had to buy the original stone. When Longfeng said this, his eyes became more serious. At the same time, the other cultivators in Longomen also stopped smiling. On the other hand, Xiao Xiao next to him was still a child at heart, laughing and playing with the Longomen disciples, and seemed not to take this matter to heart at all. I would like to hear the details. Xiao Xian was more concerned about Gongsun Xiao Xiao. Actually, Gongsun Xiao Xiao is not a cultivator in our Longhu sect, but a little girl we picked up on the roadside. However, she is very talented in cultivation. She can master some great avenues even under circumstances that we cannot control. She will even become ill if she does not practice for a day. Longfeng said a little helplessly. At first, We just thought it was a coincidence, but in the end we found that it was not the case. Hear this. Xiao Xian was very interested. He has heard that some practitioners are talented but lazy by nature and are unable to achieve results in their practice. But I have never heard of practitioners having problems because they are too hardworking or too talented. It's one thing that Xiao's cultivation talent is high, but more importantly, she needs to understand some great ways every day, otherwise she will feel uncomfortable all over. To find a way out of the world for Xiao Xiao. We are brothers who have prepared all the salary Dao stones over the years. We are preparing to open the original stones, find some Dao stones, and help Xiao Xiao break through the bottleneck of cultivation. Who knows, we actually met a profiteer. Longfeng looked troubled. However, if you really want to talk about it, this rough stone boss doesn't seem to be a profiteer. After all, Brother Xiao does offer a lot of good things. But Xiao Xian understood all these things. He was able to prescribe good things entirely because he had the help of his spiritual eyes. If there were no system plugins, he would probably be deceived by the rough stone boss, and he would not be able to get the last rough stone with a big road. I wonder what kind of path Xiao Xiao is practicing, Xiao Xian asked. The way of wood Longfeng was a little confused, but he still answered honestly. In that case, this rough stone of the Bauhinia way is given to Xiao Xiao. Xiao Xian said directly and generously, Xiao Xiao and I have known each other for a while, and I quite like this little girl. He said this. Everyone present was shocked instantly. Longfeng opened his mouth wide and could not close it for a long time. At this time, he couldn't believe his ears. Xiao Xian actually gave such an expensive gift to Xiao Xiao. The Bauhinia path is the most valuable and powerful path among the flowers and trees. Just the original stone that Xiao Xian opened, the rich Bauhinia Dao in it, is enough to sell hundreds of thousands of Dao stones, but now he actually gives it away directly. Giving such a valuable thing to someone the first time they met. Longfeng was a little afraid to accept it. Brother Xiao. What did you just say? I can't believe it. Are you really going to give the original stone of the Bauhinia way to Xiao Xiao? Is this a joke? Longfeng and several Longoman brothers looked at each other. Certainly. A man of his words. I said this, and I will naturally do it. Xiao Xian smiled, took out the original stone of the way of Bauhinia, and handed it to Gongsun Xiao Xiao. Xiao Xiao, do you like it? Gongsun is not very young. But he was very sensible. Although he glanced at the rough stone in Xiao Xian's hand excitedly, he still shook his little head and said, Uncle Long said, you can't just ask for other people's things. Ha ha. Thank you, Mr. Xiao. Although our Longhu sect is not a big sect, we still have some integrity. We will find a suitable rough stone for Xiao Xiao. Longfeng was obviously very satisfied with Gongsun Xiaoxiu's answer. But Xiao Xian shook his head slightly. Cultivation is like sailing against the current, like going against the sky. If there are not enough opportunities, even the best cultivation base will be buried. Are you willing to see a future genius perish because of a mere rough stone? Among the practitioners all over the world. Know your abilities clearly. The cultivators in Longoman suddenly looked at each other, and for a moment, they didn't know how to answer. It was only now that Xiao Xian had some appreciation for the people of Longoman. Xiao Xiao, your future prospects are immeasurable. It's wrong for you to stay in the Little Dragon and Tiger Gate. Xiao Xian said these words. Now, people like Longfeng can clearly understand their own shortcomings, which is enough to surpass most cultivators. But the cultivation talent she displayed was enough to disdain the entire Dragon and Tiger clan. The faces of the people in Longoman suddenly looked a little different, and even Longfeng showed a bit of guilt on his face. This level of sobriety is not enough for them to stand at the pinnacle of cultivators. Gongsun Xiao Xiao was very sensible and took the initiative to comfort him. Most of them are arrogant people. If she had been placed in another large sect, I'm afraid she would have been established as the beloved Son of Heaven and the Saint of Heaven. Long Feng drank the drink in front of him in one gulp. Don't be sad, Xiao Xiao doesn't need any training resources, as long as he can be with a few uncles, Xiaoxiaju will be happy. Nowadays, Gongsun Xiao Xiao is not very old, so Long Omen can still rely on some basic cultivation resources to help Gongsun Xiao Xiao cultivate. In fact, for such a long time, they have known to all that Gongsun Xiaoxiao's cultivation talent, although they are still not very clear about the origin of this little girl. They think that if they have a few skills, they will be invincible in the world, and everyone is a genius in cultivation. But it's a pity. But it would be better if she didn't say these words. In one sense, this is a very simple thing, but in another sense, this is a very difficult thing. At that time, there will definitely be no way for Long Omen to take it out. After all, if their Longhu sect could really come up with good training resources, they wouldn't have been almost taken over by that little rough stone boss this time. Uncle Long, Sister Long. After these words were spoken, the people in Long Omen felt even more sad, always feeling that they had failed Gongsun Xiao Xiao in some way. Some senior brothers and sisters who are much higher in realm than her can often understand the puzzling ways of the Tao at a glance. After Xiao Xian said these words clearly, the training resources she needs are naturally astronomical. After all. But as Gongsun Xiao grew older, what's more important is their own cultivation talent. Just like Gongsun Xiao Xiao, with her cultivation talent, future achievements will be limitless. This is also within the Dragon and Tiger Gate.